Kingdom blessings, kingdom blessings. Welcome YouTube, welcome YouTube. We bring you in the living room of Building with the Daniels. First time on YouTube, so we want y'all to like that, subscribe to that, hit that bell so that you'll know every time we come on. Building with the Daniels. So I'm Pastor Lydell Daniels, but you can call me Dominion Daniels because it's the Judge Free Zone.
And I'm Lady D.
So you got Dominion and Lady D. That's what we coming into your living room as on Building with the Daniels. This is a Judge Free Zone. On this platform, this is about the people. We coming to give you a voice. We coming to give you an opportunity. So any topic that we discuss, if you have any questions or you have topics that you want us to discuss, we want you to go on Facebook, Facebook Messenger, Lydell Daniels, Erica Daniels, on Building with the Daniels has a Facebook page. Go on there, put your comments, put whatever topics you want to discuss and the questions you want to ask. And guys, we'll get back to you. This is your platform. So it's all on you. Whatever you want us to do, as long as it's legal, we here for you. We got resources. Whatever we got, it's available to you. If you own a business, we'll come on here and advertise for you. And we'll patronize. Because we love to travel and we love to come and support people. It doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. If we're in your city, we'll come visit. All right? So you can put that stuff in our inbox. My wife is going to give y'all the email address where you can leave these things as well.
DanielsBuildingLegacies@gmail.com. You can send us questions, comments, suggestions. We'll be glad to hear from you.
Or advertisements. Again, guys, we'll shout you out on here. Because we're on every Thursday night at 8 p.m.
on Facebook Live and Instagram Live.
So go on Instagram, follow us. Go on Facebook, follow us. Building with the Daniels. You're not going to want to miss this. And again, this platform is for you.
Like and share.
Like and share. Follow us. Subscribe. Hit that bell, YouTube. We want to make this thing a nationwide, a worldwide legacy building platform. We're going to leave a legacy and we want to help you build yours. That's what we're here for. Building with the Daniels. All right? So this is technically a part 2. We started on last Thursday night on our 8 o'clock show. Well, actually, it was 6 o'clock last Thursday. We came on, guys. We started this topic of conversation about identity. And we started talking about it from 3 stages in life. We talked about it from birth, in our teen years, up into adulthood. How our identity is shaped and molded by different things that impact it. And we started getting into adulthood when we ran out of time. So we decided to come back and do a part 2. And YouTube, you're going to get that first. We're going to put that up or upload it on YouTube. And if you want to see the first part, you got to go on, follow us on Facebook, Building with the Daniels, and you can see the first part of it so that you can have both parts. YouTube, share it, like it, subscribe, hit that bell. All right? So we're going to finish up what we started on last Thursday. And so when we were talking about this topic, guys, and we started from a child, and we talked about it from 3 perspectives. We talked about how family shapes your identity. We talked about how society shapes your identity. And then we also got into or started to talk about how culture shapes your identity, especially in your adulthood. And somebody asked a question on Facebook, does that change or can that change? Very much so. And that's why we wanted to create this dialogue and have this conversation so that we can help shape and frame your identity. Because maybe something tragic in your childhood left a stain on your life, and now you're living an identity that you technically don't identify with because of what happened to you. There are so many different influences that can happen or things that can take place that can shape our identity. But one thing I want you to understand that I want to highlight and say on tonight is that it doesn't have to stay that way if you don't like it.
That's right.
If what you identify with is what you like or who you are at this stage in your life is okay, then now we're going to just give you some tips to improve it. But if you don't like it, we want to come tonight and give you the power and the clarity to make that change. All right? So we're going to kind of pick up that conversation. And my wife made some very valid points on the first episode about identity. She talked about some of her things in her childhood that kind of shaped her identity up until the time that she gave her life to God, and how sometimes those things come back around, how those things come back up. But I guess if we want to pick up at a point, let's talk a little bit about family. Let's talk about how family can shape your identity and the part that they play in it of creating a culture of our belief system and or identity. So if we talked about family, baby, what would you have to say? How has family shaped your identity?
Wow, that's a good question. I would say that it goes into people pleasing and just what we talked about on last week, wanting to fit in. So knowing that you are a part of a family, but wanting to make sure that you're mirroring, or as we talked about last week, identifying. So because you identify with your family, you would think that that's your identity, and it kind of causes you to walk that narrow line of being who you truly are, or who your family is expecting or looking up to you to be, especially if, in our case, that we're the oldest siblings in our family. We are, and so we pretty much kind of shaped it for our siblings that came behind us. They looked up to us. There was a lot of pressure on us to perform, as well as coming from, I would say, our parents. They, expected more from us than they did from our siblings. And so by us not having anything to model after, it was kind of different. Would you agree?
I think we were the learning babies. We were the ones that they learned life with, and through us, the other ones got the easier version because it was trial and error with us. So being the older sibling, I know that church shaped my identity. I definitely can allude to what you said, that my family had a certain I won't say a stigma, because it was positive on my mom's side. It was positive on my dad's side as well, because they were hard-working people more on my dad, but education was a big thing on my mom's side of the family, and so they were kind of known for that. My aunt being the valedictorian, my uncle being the salutatorian, my mom being in the top 10 in her class. So education was kind of big, so that kind of shaped my identity early on. But once I reached the teenage years, and then going back to what we said, how family or things in our life can have an impact on our identity. My mom and dad divorced when I was 12, and that part of my life changed, kind of shifted more so to a negative aspect, because I had a chip on my shoulder because of my relationship with my dad. And it wasn't because he left, because I was excited about him leaving, but it was because of the way that he ruled the home when my mom and dad was together. So my identity was shaped, and I had something to prove. So I went into life. I went into my teenage years, into adulthood, and so I kind of got away from the family values of education. Even though I still graduated high school, I scored high on the ASVAB, and I went into the military. I went into life, so I went into adulthood with this chip on my shoulder, and I had something to prove, because I wanted to show my dad that I was a man. That's right. I wanted to be a man that outshined him.
Be better than him.
Yeah, I wanted to show him that I was better than him without him. And so
the negative things that happened to you was really your motivating force, or what pushed you to become better.
Yep.
But not even knowing that, even though that was pushing you to be better, but it was still, even on the inside, it was hurting you, harming you, causing you to be, I wouldn't say bitter, but more so, what's the word I'm looking for? Not bitter and not callous, but I guess when you're not aware, or of what, I guess not your presence, but of the way of your actions, what effect that they're having on others.
Correct. And I think that when your identity is not genuine of who you identify with or who you are, when other people have an effect on it, you can never be your 100%.
Right.
So even though it was a driving factor, I wasn't 100% because I was trying to be something based on something else other than who I was or who I wanted to represent. right? Or what I wanted to represent. So my identity was shaped by a passion of, it was almost like hurt and approval seeking,
Yes.
right? And so I often teach in my church that hurt people hurt other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always intentional that they do that. But if that's your nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
The nature of a snake, he doesn't have hands, he doesn't have feet. So how does he get his point across? He bites, right? And so he strikes and he bites. And so it's the same way with hurt people. Even though they don't intentionally mean to do it, when that is a part of your driving force, then it becomes your innate nature without even thinking about it. And that's why we want to talk about identity, guys, because we want to make sure that the person that you are is also the person you identify with, because you can be somebody that you don't identify with. And I'll give an example of that later. I want to give you an opportunity if you want to share right now.
Just when you were saying about, doing it and not knowing. So pretty much ignorant to the fact that you're hurting people. But that's not an excuse because we don't know, because at the end of the day, people are still impacted by our actions or the things or the lack of our actions. So we have to be careful with that. So when we say that it shapes our identity with the hurt, we becoming more aware that you are hurting somebody, or becoming more aware of the things that I guess taking inventory, or like I always say, doing a self-assessment of where am I at in life and what am I, really doing, because I have this driving factor or I have this motivating force, but am I really being effective in life? Am I really winning at life? And that's what we talk about all the time. Even with building with the Daniels, we want to win at life. And just because you're doing something or you have been doing something for so long, that doesn't make it right. And so we've learned in our adulthood that change is the most important thing, to realize and figure out that, hey, there are some things in me that need to change. There's some things about my life, some things about, my identity, or even people that are around me that need to change. So what am I going to do to change that?
Okay. Well, what I'll say to that is, and even though this is not a preaching platform, so we're not preaching to you, but being pastors, for me, my identity didn't actually come to light or fruition until I yielded to God. To be honest, I was a person. I had a good heart. I helped people.
Yes, you did.
But what I identified with and who I had become wasn't my identity. And what I would say, and that's why I was saying earlier, that just because you may be somebody or you may portray this image, that doesn't mean that's who you identify with. So you imagine that my life prior to Christ, even though I worked a 9 to 5 every day, I was a drug dealer. And that wasn't who I was. And so even though if you saw me, you would perceive that was the lifestyle I was living, because I walked the walk, I talked the talk, I lived it, I wore it. And the funniest thing, part of my testimony, it took my wife, I never forget it. We wasn't married back then. We definitely wasn't in the church. And and one day she called me a thug, and I was upset, like I was angry. And she was like, you ain't nothing but a thug. And I was like, what? Like, girl, you don't know what I scored on the ASVAB. I went to the #1 Army base in America. But here I am walking around with Jordans, white tees, ball caps, jewelry, selling drugs.
Playing a role, and you played it so well. Even though, just like you said, you were a good person and you had a great heart. But the role that you were playing, you had did it so long that you had actually taken on that, that part.
And on the inside,
didn't even realize it.
Yep. But on the inside, that wasn't what I was identified with, because I wasn't, I wasn't raised that way, and that was never intention. Like, that was nothing I never planned as a teenager or a young adult or young child, that I wanted to be a drug dealer, be in the streets or in the game, as they called it. But situations that arose and opportunities that came about, and I capitalized on them, that's what I identified with. But that wasn't my identity. And I know that there are many people that are living lives right now. They might be teaching, but in their heart of hearts, they're not a teacher. They might be whatever, be in any career field just because they were trying to make a living or to provide for their family, or to do it for validation of someone else. Mm-hmm. Until you identify who you truly are and what is your purpose here, or why are you here, or what do you want to accomplish while you're here, you're not gonna be satisfied with life. Money is not gonna fulfill that either. And that's why identity is so important. And oftentimes we've been shaped by what mama wanted us to be, what daddy wanted us to be, auntie or grandma or my family.
Just the pressure of, feeling like you had to measure up. Just like you said, it was a reputation for your family to, have this standard. And, the pressure just from feeling like you're not measuring up, or the pressure to measure up, because you did it. But that was some of the reason why when we were in Midland, in my hometown, that you didn't go home and you didn't, visit a lot because of what you were living. You knew that wasn't what your family lived, so you didn't want them to see that life, and so you stayed away. And in turn, that caused them to think that you had an issue, or it was something that why does Adele come around, when in all actuality you was just trying to hide, or even not even hide, but protect them from this other person that you had become.
Yes, and that's definitely, that's why identity is so important, guys. You got to be true to who you are. Mm-hmm. And if you're trying to fit into certain circles or this particular level of living and you can't afford it, see, that's because that's not your identity. And as you become who you are called to be, mm-hmm. who you are put here to be, and you can be your genuine 100% self, that's when you're going to flourish. That's when you're going to enjoy life. Then it's not going to matter about status, and you will actually get to that level where you want to be. Yeah. But trying to fit in and trying to do it for somebody else, guys, that is a pitiful way to live when you can't even enjoy. I remember going to clubs because that's what drug dealers did. That was a part of it. And I didn't enjoy it because that wasn't really my avenue. So, and I could go in there and I could dance if I wanted to, but I wasn't comfortable with dancing because I'm a drug dealer, right? And then, people want to rob drug dealers. And I know guys that were envious, right? And I was in a town that I didn't grow up in. And we had a rivalry between where I'm from and where I was. So, so even if I was in that environment, if I wanted to enjoy it, I couldn't. So you see how when you're not being who you're supposed to be, or when you're not identifying with who your genuine self is, like it limits you in so many areas. And
so
now
many people are actually living their life like it.
There are people who went to school for years and became lawyers, and that's not what they wanted to do. But that was their mom and dad's expectation. That was the family tradition. And I just want to give you the courage and the freedom to break free. Yes. Why do something and be miserable? Like, even though I'm a pastor, look, man, I'm cool. Man, we cool. Like, we not them stuck up folk, man, and you got to wear a clergy collar, and everything you do is hikabashada, speaking in tongues. We listen, man, we live and we enjoy life.
And we have fun. Don't let anybody make you think that being saved is not fun. We enjoy life.
That's
we
right.
Enjoy each other.
And we travel and we go and we do. You gonna see us if you follow Building with the Daniels, and you gonna see some of the clips, man. We playing tennis. We hike. We go in the mountains. We gonna live life. We gonna ride the jet skis out here with the dolphins and stuff, and helicopters. We done been on helicopter. Like, we're gonna enjoy life. Soon you're gonna see us skydiving, guy. We're gonna go skydiving. We got a couple things on our bucket list that we haven't done yet. But you follow us, you like it, subscribe, hit that bell. You're gonna see some of those highlights and some of the things that we're gonna do, because you're supposed to enjoy life, and because we are being our genuine selves. That's why we created this platform. Like, just because we're pastors, we're humans too.
Yes.
And so many people have this misperception. We probably have a topic of conversation about that. How people judge pastors when they're human beings just like everybody else. Like, we teach a standard, and hopefully those who teach it try to live it. But all of us are imperfect beings serving a perfect God for those who serve God. And if you don't, that's fine. If you follow us long enough, eventually you'll probably try. And if you don't, guess what? We're going to continue to pray and hope the best for you, because this is a judge-free zone. This is not about preaching. This is about teaching and empowering people, helping them get free in different areas of their life. And for those who have been struggling with an identity crisis, and you know that you're portraying somebody that you're not, or you're not happy, we come tonight to give you the power and the liberty to break free from that, man, and chase your dream, who you want to be, yes. who you truly are. Mm-hmm. And God can help with that. We would put that in there. That is through God's help that you can make that happen. Yes. But We just want to give you the opportunity to be free from it,
be
guys.
so much freedom in walking in who you are called to be.
Right,
So
when you
much
can be
freedom.
your genuine self. And guess what? Your genuine self might be a cusser right now. It might be a drinker, all that. And all that we can get
We can
fixed.
clean it up. That's right.
But we want you to be your genuine self. Because when you got to act all the time, it's exhausting.
Yes.
Like me being who I wasn't, it was exhausting, man. I had headaches that I'm normally wasn't a headache person, but just life itself was so overwhelming and overbearing. And I got to a point in 2008 when I just told God, I am tired of this. Like, I'm like, who's tired of making money? But I was tired. Because it wasn't right. It was illegal money as well as I had a job. But I was tired because that wasn't who I am. That's what I told God. I was like, God, if you have a better life for me than this, and I know you do, I know that this is not what you wrote for me. And I submitted. I surrendered. July the 28th, 2008, man. And he came in like the Bible says, a mighty rushing wind. He came into my life and he turned this thing around for me. And now I'm enjoying everything that I had before illegally, legally now. I have no worries. I'm still an entrepreneur. You understand what I'm saying? I'm still, I can still dress fresh. I can still be fresh and love God. I can be young, fly, and saved. You understand? And so I'm just thankful, guys, for this opportunity to come into your living room and share this, man, because I want you to embrace your true identity. I want you to begin to love life and love yourself and be proud of the person you look at in the mirror in the morning and each and every day. And not the person that you got to portray to try to fit in with a crowd, to fit in with a class of people that you don't even really like because you're being somebody that you're not.
Wow.
Anything you want to say?
No, I'm good right now.
And culture, guys, the desire to want money and nice things, there's nothing wrong with those things. But listen, you gotta know where you are in life right now. If you want to be on another level financially, let me give you two things that I would share with you. If you identify that you feel like, deep down, I knew as a child I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Deep down, I knew that I was supposed to be successful. Within myself, I believe that the thing that I was willing to do was to do the work. And some of us never work on ourselves. Like some of us, it's our own attitude that gets in the way, right? Because we vocalize things or verbalize things that are emotionally driven, and that's really not who we are. Right. But we've allowed the stresses of life and society to put these pressures on us to become somebody we're not. Guys, work on yourself. Find who your true self is. And again, I gotta say it, the Bible will help you do that. God is built for it. So if you're having a struggle with that in an area, then try Jesus. All right? And see, won't he do it? Okay? And again, this is not about the Bible or any of that. That's not what we come on and say, but we got to tell you the truth, the best that we know. That was the purpose of this platform. But I'm not going to judge you if that's not where you are right now. Still do your self-assessment. Still do work on you and becoming the genuine version of you, because you're going to feel so much better when you can wake up and do life the right way with who you truly are. Man, I love being me. And that's why I'm not going to come on here with a suit and a clergy collar and none of that. I'm coming on here to let you know, man, I'm a regular human being that loves the Lord, called by God to do a work. And I'm going to do it for everyone, right? That's why we create this platform. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear your questions. We want to hear your comments, good or bad. Listen, we can learn from it all. Because we love you no matter what. Look, I love you. My wife love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Because that's why we here. Look, we done been ridiculed, we done been lied on, we done been talked about. All that's cool with us, right? We're doing this for you. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, hey, share it. Facebook, Building with the Daniels. Instagram, Building with the Daniels. Look, YouTube,
Building with the Daniels.
Be with the Daniels. Like it, subscribe it, share it, hit that button, that bell. You hear me? We bring this to a living room near you. Guys, listen, we just love God. We love people. And we're creating this platform. Again, if you got anything that you want us to advertise, we'll put that out there for you.
Yes.
But we wanted to come over here, talk to you about your identity. We want you to be your real self. Look, if you that 6-year-old child that had a hiccup, that something happened in your life, don't let that mark you and make you become somebody or continue to be somebody that you're not. Living from that hurt. Free yourself. If you need help with it, message us. Man, we will talk you through it. We'll pray you through it. If you go on there and look at that first episode, you'll hear my wife share her testimony about what she overcame from her childhood. We're here to help, guys. If there's anything we could do, if there's any resources we got, we'll do all we can to help our fellow brother man or sister man out here in the land. All right. That's why we created this space. So we wanted to come into your living room as real people talking about real life situations to help you overcome them. And if we said something that might have gave you the courage tonight or to spark something that might have said, you know what, I need to look at myself and I want to be my true, genuine self, then look, man, leave a comment. Leave a comment, share that with us. And again, if you need prayer, if you want to talk, you want to just talk to somebody about, listen, I've been struggling with my identity, I've been struggling with what I identify with. I'm not the person that I have become. Listen, man, we will help you walk through that process. We're here for you, in whatever way, in whatever capacity you need it. If it's prayer, cool, we'll do that. If you just want somebody to talk to give you some encouraging words, we're here for that. Baby, anything you want to say before we sign off tonight? Anything else you got for the people?
No, not tonight, baby. That was good.
Yeah, so look, let's look at our identity. We know things from our childhood can shape that.
Yes.
We know things from our teenage years can shape that. And we know that there's things that are happening in society around us right now, culturally, that affect our identity. But there's nothing like being the true, genuine you. Mm-hmm. And if you're not on that journey, let's start that journey. If you need help with how to get that done, reach out to us. Ladell Daniels on Facebook. Erica Daniels on Facebook. Building with the Daniels on Facebook. In the messenger. Leave those questions. Leave those comments. If you need to email us, whatever you need to do, guys, again, we're here for you. And listen, tune in Thursday night at 8 p.m. We'll be on discussing a new topic. If you catch it live, you can ask your questions right there on the spot. We answer them if we're able, especially if it's in alignment with what we're discussing. We have a new topic this Thursday night. Be watching on Facebook. On YouTube. Maybe even tomorrow we might upload a little motivational video for y'all midweek motivation. I don't know, but we be looking for it. That's why you need to hit that bell. Hit that bell so that when we come on, you will know we coming into your living room. We might just come on a little 3-4 minute motivation, man, because we want you to leave a legacy behind. But that's what that Building with the Danes is. We're going to leave a legacy. We're going to live a legacy. And we want to help you do yours too.
Yes.
All right. And you just never know, man. We might network. You might be that millionaire that we come out and hang out with on your private jet. Or we might pick you up on ours. Whatever. However, you just never know. But that's why we here building with the Daniels. All right.
Real
this is your
life application
for kingdom manifestation. Y'all heard it right here, baby. And remember this, as we get ready to sign off, greatness is your destiny. All right, man. We love y'all. Kingdom blessings.
Kingdom blessings.
Building with the Daniels.